What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. It's a weird one. It's at a weird time. It's a weird slate. It's a split slate, but we're joined by a couple of the sharpest minds in the biz. And it's a free one too. So shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. If you don't hit like and subscribe, we're gonna boot you out of the show. Devin actually has that ability to do that. So go ahead, subscribe, and enjoy. I don't think that's true.
Devin has a lot of power.
He does. Devin does have a lot of power. Guys, there's weather concerns. Is this pitcher pitching concerns? There's all kinds of questions. But thankfully, you're going to help us navigate all of these muddy waters. Cheese, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm fine. Like today was just weird enough, just with like a game every 2 hours all day and like 7 different slates. And then not just the chalkiest pitcher of today, the guy that was literally going to be the chalkiest pitcher all season, I kid you not, it gets scratched like 20 minutes ago. It's weird stuff, but hey, it's we still got something to play, so we'll figure it out.
Right. We had the postponement in Atlanta too earlier, which was because of the rain that they played through last night, that then postponed this. That was fun for me. I really enjoyed that. We got Carty as well. Carty, you feeling good about this?
I mean, as good as you can feel about a slate like this, it's a weird one. And we were saying before the show, like, what a slate to bring in me and Cheese for, because you're gonna need 2 big brains for this one.
Yeah, no, we're gonna
let Roth do most of the breakdown.
Yeah, I think 100% on Bergeron, Bogosian, 100% lock him in. Guys, there is weather concerns as well. The good news is in Philly, I think all this rain is going to stay southwest. So there's no worries in Philly. The only weather concern is in Baltimore. They just had a storm went up like a mile from the ballpark. And if it went up over the ballpark, this game's over already. It would be done before it started. But it didn't. It went up just to the north and west. And so it's still alive. And it honestly makes me feel kind of good that it missed, because I don't think one's going to pop literally right next to it. I don't know what's going to happen in Baltimore. I think the likelier outcome now that massive storm missed them is that they probably are able to get this game in. but there's a flash flood watch in Baltimore. These storms are barely moving. And if and when one goes up over the ballpark, it's you're going to be waiting a long time for them to finish. And I don't know if and when one will go up over the ballpark or not. The fact that that one missed makes me think that maybe they get lucky here and get the game in one way or another. I don't think I'd do it in cash, and I'm hoping that like this is a fringe game and we don't want it in cash. Carty, you tell me.
Untrue.
It's completely untrue. Great.
You want as many bats from this game as the site will let you put in your lineup.
Honestly, I just think this is about your risk tolerance. If you ask me what I think is going to happen, I think it'll play. My confidence level in that is really low. One pop up and you're done. But I think the likely outcome now that storm missed is that they probably play. But
what's the color rating on this?
that was orange yellow.
Orange yellow.
Yeah.
With bats, yellows just go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah, well,
And like seriously, 5 innings, the Yankees probably hit enough home runs to be fine.
Yeah.
If depending on when this pop-up does or doesn't come.
Yeah, can't tell you. So that's fun. I'm glad. I know you're glad to have a meteorologist here to help you with that expert analysis. But really, with these kind of storms, like that's the best I can do. Let's talk about what we're going to do at pitcher. I think that's where we're playing Patrice Bergeron. Bedozierak, what's the guy's name?
And Bedrosian. And we're not playing him.
It's not that we're playing him. It's that we didn't know if we can play the other guy.
Oh, okay. Okay, don't play him. All right, let's walk through this slate. Guys, who wants to start? Cheese, you want to start a pitcher?
Sure.
Okay.
So when it was Framber Valdez, it was like you could make the case to just lock button him on 150 lineups on both sites. Now they switched to Louis Garcia. It's kind of a real life downgrade and kind of barely a DFS downgrade, kind of. It's like he probably only throws like 80 pitches instead of like 95 for Valdez, but he strikes out a few more guys. It's still Texas. To me, you still just play the Houston starter. The fact that his name is different, I mean, he's a little cheaper. The salary didn't really matter though.
Well,
because
you were going to lock button the last guy with 150 lineups. Are you lock buttoning this guy with 150?
Well,
lineups?
so what I'm doing is I'm not limiting him. I'm not actually. There's a difference between hitting the lock button and then saying, "Let me just run it. If it gives me 150, I'll take it."
I got you.
I do have a little bit of Jordan Montgomery, a little bit of Dietrich Enns, and I even tossed in a Kyle Hendricks. Just like he's still got a couple starts in him somewhere. You add in the weather risk with Jordan Montgomery, and basically, I think you're looking at Garcia, or if you, for some reason, need salary. Like the weirdness of this slate is that a guy named Dietrich Enns, who probably pitches 3 innings as a long reliever for Tampa, is chalk. At least on DraftKings, he's like mega chalk. And on FanDuel, he's like the second best option. Just play Louis Garcia. I think we're being silly not to.
Okay. Carty, what are you doing here?
I agree. I think you play Garcia. I think there is a case for Dietrich Enns, whatever a Dietrich Enns is. He projects well today. Part of that is because there's like 3 pitchers on the whole slate. But it's also, a decent enough spot for him. Cheese said he thinks he'll only go 3 innings. The bat says 4.5, which I mean, isn't like a lot, but it is a difference. I saw a quote from Kevin Cash that says he should be able to get up to about 75 pitches or so, which the bat translates in this matchup to 4.5 innings. So it's not a lot, but on this slate at his price, I think you're definitely playing him in cash games on DraftKings alongside Garcia. And on FanDuel, I think you can squint and maybe make the case for him, but I do think you probably just go Garcia.
And are we sure that he's going to pitch, or is this we don't even know if he's going to pitch?
So there is an opener ahead of him, but I think we have as much certainty as we can have that he's going to pitch in this,
Yeah, that's how I'm reading it. It's like it's a Rays beat writer got it from the Rays. It's not. I mean, it's yes, he should. I would. Yes, he is pitching.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other pitchers, Carty, you want to talk about? Is there a little of this random guy, or no? That's it.
I mean, so we can talk about this Adonis Medina thing. Obviously, she's mentioned Kyle Hendricks. Like Kyle Hendricks is fine. On DraftKings, I wouldn't play Kyle Hendricks in cash games. Like he projects straight up worse than Dietrich Enns. So just play Dietrich Enns. But like you can really kind of play anybody because there's just only so many options to go around. Like Adonis Medina, we don't know if he's coming in behind Bedrosian, but if he does, especially on DraftKings where you play two pitchers where he's 5.4K, where the matchup's really good, like you can play him, but you also might get a zero because he doesn't pitch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that sounds fairly dicey. Let's talk about some of the bats, and we'll start with the stacks, which is where I imagine we go right to the rain game. Geez.
Yeah, and that this is FanDuel only, where this Yankees game is. The Yankees are the chalk, and it's good chalk. I don't really think they're going to lose any ownership because of the potential rain either. So the sort of secondary chalk is the Rays and the Astros. And then the kind of thirdendary chalk is the Phillies. And that's a word. And yeah, I guess the thing for tournaments, as much as the Yankees are great, I do like the Rays and the Phillies and the Astros and even kind of some Cubs mini stacks enough to say, like, I'm not going all in on the Yankees anyway. But like you're being silly to try to pretend like they're not the best team, like they are. And I'm definitely not fading it unless it's just straight up canceled before it starts.
Okay. I think that's fair. Like, I really think this storm missing them gives at least some cushion to get this game in.
The bat projects the Yankees almost 2 runs above the next best team.
Good Lord.
So like it's a thing. Like you want them unless the risk is really, really high. And it sounds like the risk is not really, really high.
Yeah. I mean, maybe only one really, and not really, really. But okay. So
Roth, you said yellow. You said there's yellow in the tag. And so for me, that means
it's orange yellow, but
we'll go for hitters.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Carty, any other stacks that you're interested? Obviously, you love your Yankees here. What else do you got?
Yeah, it's like she said, like the Rays are going to be really good. The Astros are going to be good. The Phillies, thirdarily, is that the word?
Thirdarily, yeah.
Yep, thirdarily. I think they're really good. The team that I think I mean, it's the kind of slate where you literally can play anyone, but I think you can make a case for like the Tigers as an off the board stack, especially on DraftKings where the pricing's pretty good on them. I think that's the only other team I'd really throw in, but like you can play anyone. Like if you wanted to play a Ranger stack against Louis Garcia, like I'm not going to tell you not to do that. Like it's fine on a slate like this.
Okay, great. We'll go position by position. Carter, you can start. We'll go catcher, where I bet you pick a Yankee.
Yeah, Gary Sanchez, it would be the Yankee you're picking probably. I guess you could also pick Anthony Rizzo because on FanDuel it's catcher first. So I think they're both fine. I think Wilson Contreras is fine, especially on DraftKings where you don't get to play a Yankee. Contreras seems like the clear best catcher play, and you're gonna have money to spend because you're playing Dietrich Enns probably. So like Contreras is good. You can pivot to Real Muto. Mike Zunino, I think, is a really good GPP play, especially in your race stacks, but even just as a one-off. Eric Haas in your weird Tiger stacks. And that's probably half the catchers on the slate.
Okay. Carty, have you looked at football for tonight? Single entry?
A little bit.
Okay. We're going to talk, in case you're thinking, what are we going to do at lock? I think after lock, we're going to talk some more DK, and then we're going to talk football too, because it's my team on tonight and I want to win the showdown. So I need your guys' help.
I want you to win the showdown. I'm playing and I want you to win the showdown.
Excellent. Cheese, what do you like at catcher?
So on FanDuel, I mean, you don't really have to play a catcher. I think Sanchez probably isn't one of my first 4 Yankees anyway. I mean, sure, play him, but sure. Really, I think catcher is more of a DK thing where I like you said, I mean, Contreras, Real Muto, and Zunino are all pretty good. These are pretty good catchers for a small slate. So I do think you want to spend up there.
Okay. NBA Live says, are we sure Contreras wouldn't be the pivot to Real Muto? Only $300 difference.
I like Contreras more straight up. The bat does too. I mean, it looks like we have Real Muto projected for higher ownership, so just all the more reason to just play Contreras.
Okay. All right. Great. First base, Cheese. What do we got there?
If you salary is rarely going to be a thing. If it is a thing, Brad Miller's really cheap on both sites, like 2,400 on FanDuel. But you don't really need a $2,400 guy. So I mean, in cash games, if you're doing that, you would just play Rizzo. There's no reason not to. I like Frank Schwindel in tournaments. I'm just on this weird Cubs thing for like the last 2 weeks where the first 6 guys in their lineup are trying to hit home runs, and they do hit some. Like
Right.
They're really bad, but not really for DFS. So I kind of like Schwindel, but basically Rizzo or Brad Miller cheaper.
Okay. We got nodding in agreement here from Carty.
Yeah, I mean, on FanDuel, the discussion's the same. I like Sanchez more than Cheese. I like Rizzo too, though. And then on DraftKings, Schwindel is a really good play. Brad Miller is a good way to save money. And I think Miggy Cabrera is a good way to be different.
Okay. Let's go to second base.
Yeah, so second base is a spot where I think there's a lot of ways to go, but Jose Altuve and Brandon Lau kind of project as like the 2 best guys on DraftKings. There's $100 difference. I think you probably just play Altuve, but on FanDuel, Brandon Lau is a little bit cheaper. So I like Lau. I think he fits better, but really play either one of them. They're both good. You can make a case for Gene Segura hitting second against Hendricks. Jonathan Scope in your weird Tiger stack things. And I think that's second.
Okay. Cheese.
Carty's just being mean to the Tigers every time he says them. There's nothing weird about the Tigers.
All right. I'm glad you like the Tigers. Because
Yeah.
I do.
I actually
feel
kind of do.
He was on board with the Tigers.
Yeah. No, I kind of like it, but it does deserve to be called a weird Tiger stack.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I agree. Like Lau and Altuve, regardless of anything, a lefty-lefty matchup just goes overlooked for essentially no reason. I mean, Brandon Lau can hit Tyler Alexander. Tyler Alexander is going to pitch 4 innings anyway. I mean, play Brandon Lau. I think ahead of Altuve straight up, although it's very close. And then on FanDuel, I'm going to tell you, of course, that I like Ian Happ.
Okay. Well, of course, we need to go to third base. So what do we like there?
This is one where maybe you don't play a Yankee because you don't need salary. I mean, Urshela is fine. But again, like you're not chasing $2,400 players all around the board.
And you can only play 4 of them. And I think you probably play 3 outfilders from the Yankees.
Yeah,
So.
Urshela is probably like 7th or 8th or 9th on the list. So if you're doing multiple stacks, you want to have everybody. But overall, I think Bregman is the Astro that I do want here. You've got money to spend, so I would just play Bregman. And I don't know if I mentioned any Cubs, but Patrick Wisdom is my favorite of all the Cubs.
Okay. Carty?
Yep, totally agree. Bregman's clearly the top guy here. If you can get up there, he's the guy you want. I think Patrick Wisdom is a good play, especially if you're hunting power. And I think Yandy Diaz is also going to be a really good play just because he's leading off for the Rays. He's going to have the platoon advantage. Like, he doesn't have a lot of power, but in your Rays stacks, like, he's definitely a guy that you should be considering. In cash games, he's cheap enough where you can think about playing him. And Candelario hitting cleanup in your weird little Tiger stacks.
Okay. Shortstop.
Yeah, so it's another position where I don't think you have to play a Yankee because you're only going to get 4 of them. And when we get to the outfield, like, I think that's where all the best Yankee stuff is. So shortstop's a spot where I think you can go a lot of different ways. Didi Gregorius is probably my preferred option on both sites. You get enough of a discount over Carlos Correa with him where I think he's a good play, but you can also just pay for Correa if you want to do that. And that's totally fine. Correa is certainly the top raw option. You just pay more for him. So they're both really good. I think Nico Goodrum for the Tigers is perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get weird, I guess Isaiah Kiner Falefa is like, okay, but I think it's probably Didi Correa and Goodrum.
Okay, could you do me a favor and not call him Goodrum? Because his name is Good Rum, and you just shouldn't, even if that's not how it's supposed to be pronounced, just give him the cooler pronunciation. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine with me. So Nico Goodrum is a fine play.
Okay, all right, I like that a lot better. Cheese, what do you like at short?
Yeah, that's that.
That's the rule.
I like Didi. Like he's one of those guys who like he ought to play for the Cubs because he's not really that good, but he's still gonna hit some home runs.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We get to go to the outfield. We've got plenty of time here. So feel free to expound upon your thoughts.
All right. So, Carty has already not buried the lead that this is where you want to play Yankees, but this is also where you want to play everybody. Like I would say the top probably 8 plays of the whole slate are here. It's Judge, Stanton, Gallo, Alvarez, Tucker, Bryce Harper, Nelson Cruz. Like that whole group. Let me just press the bat, all positions, projections. Sanchez and Rizzo pop up there, but pretty much it's all out. All those outfielders are like the top just everywhere projections, which is how I have them as well. So you're probably playing 4 outfielders on FanDuel. Harper and Alvarez are the 2 guys outside of the Yankees that I love, but not that I don't love Nelson Cruz and Kyle Tucker as well. If salary becomes a thing like that, this Joey Gallo price tag on FanDuel has just been weird all week. Like he's a full $1,000 less than Stanton and Judge. And I don't care which of those 3 I play. Like, I guess I would say Judge first. But I like Gallo just as much as Stanton. If I could just play like 3 outfielders in every lineup, that's all I was able to do, I would go Judge, Gallo, Harper.
And none of these, no one cheap. Like these are all spend up guys.
On FanDuel, you just don't need it. I mean, Brett Gardner is leading off and he's 2,400, but why?
So
like you just don't need to.
Make fun of him for sucking.
We do. Like he's going to score some points is the thing, but you don't need some points in the outfield. You need like 30. So just I think you don't save in the outfield on FanDuel. DraftKings, we might discuss some values, but just spend up.
Okay. Carty, what are you doing in the outfield?
Exactly what Cheese said. Spend up on Yankees in the outfield. If you're playing cash on FanDuel, just play all 3 of the Yankees outfielders and then play another good one in your util, Harper or Alvarez probably. And that's just how you do outfield.
I love when it's just like, this is the way. There's this is the way. There's no debate. This is it. That's what you do. Guys, we got to talk home run picks and then we'll take some questions, which should be fun because I think because of the weird time, there may be 6 people currently watching. We do not have our normal stream of viewers because of the weird start time. But who is your home run pick? And you can't give me, Stanton or something. You gotta be a little creative here.
Yeah, Stanton's not going to homer with that ugly swing, right?
It's so ugly, but it's so good. Carty, who's your guy?
I mean, it's the Yankees for sure. If you're telling me I can't pick a Yankee, I'm probably picking like Bryce Harper or Nelson Cruz or Patrick Wisdom off the board for sure.
That's the one. Like, if we're trying to be a little different, I would go with one of the Cubs. I would say Wisdom.
I like it. Yeah. Let's get to some of these questions if we have any. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, first off, like and subscribe. Second, go ahead, drop some questions in. It can be about anything. It can be about this baseball slate. It can be about football. It can be about barbecue. Literally any questions welcome here.
It could be about ice cream and coffee combined, which we can talk about at any time. I have a pretty exciting thing to mention.
We had some good tequila questions last time. Feel free to shoot them along.
Yeah, we're in tequila mezcal questions. Hey, someone says, damn it, I missed SP. Garrett. So can you help Garrett out, Cheese, and run through SP real quick?
Yeah, it's not quite as good as when it was Valdez, but just play Louis Garcia. Like you're being really silly not to. And then I think both Carty and I are on board with, as weird as it seems, Dietrich Enns is the other guy. I don't think you need it on FanDuel. On DraftKings, your chalk, and I would say good chalk combo is Garcia and Enns.
Okay, and it is weird because we're not 100% sure he's pitching, but we're
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
95.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty
Yeah.
sure.
This isn't like the Phillies situation where they're just calling it a bullpen game with an opener Bedrosian. We don't know if Medina's pitching.
Gotcha.
Ends
Okay.
is the probable long reliever.
Okay.
They've said he should pitch.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel better. Go ahead. Get those questions in. If you could only live with one, ice cream or coffee, you only get one. Carty, you go first.
I don't drink coffee, so it's an easy decision.
Yeah. I feel like Cheese, this
Well,
could be difficult for Cheese, as I think he loves both of these
It's
things.
very
more than
difficult,
me.
but this whole thing was solved yesterday. So I went to my local coffee shop that I love so much, and I've mentioned to you about this Sugar Fox drink that they have, which now we call me the Sugar Fox. They have one that's similar to the Sugar Fox, where they add in salted caramel, and it's called the melted ice cream, but it's coffee. So I'm going to go with that.
It just sounds amazing. Yeah.
It's so very good,
Yeah.
and because it's coffee, you can still have dessert later.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, problem solved. I don't drink coffee, and it's not that I don't like ice cream, but it's like it's fine. I think I'd be fine with either, but I don't drink coffee. So
And
ice cream.
To the while we're on the question on YouTube, yes, Garcia is definitely SP1 on DK, and I think we both kind of said like, yeah, Kyle Hendricks is totally viable because of the size of the slate, and like he's not done for his career having quality starts. Like it's been a rough-ish season and a very rough last couple of weeks. I mean, it's hard to get shelled by Pittsburgh, but he did it. But I mean, he's very much a leftover here.
Okay. Mellow Rose says, is Freddie Galvis in play, Carty?
Yeah, not for cash, but he's certainly fine for GPPs. He could knock one out. Like it's a small slate. Play him in your Philly stacks, or even as a one-off, he's okay, I guess.
NBA Live, DK Cash, Schwindel or Brad Miller?
They're both fine. I'd lean Schwindel.
DePrince says, what is your favorite Houston bat, Cheese?
So something that we didn't mention. So Texas is going with a kind of a double starter game. It's Glenn Otto and then it's Colby Allard. So they got a righty lefty thing. So I still like Alvarez the best, but we should assume it's going to be essentially half a game against a righty and half against a lefty. So I don't have a huge lean for righty versus lefty. It's close now between Alvarez and Bregman for me, but I would still go Alvarez.
Okay. Devin, what time is lock here? Is it 5 after like normal? Okay. Also, I'm lowering my risk slightly to yellow-orange in this Baltimore game. Just wanted to put that out there.
What color is that, Carty?
It's yellow, and now the yellow is first. So
Just eternal optimism from Carty there. All right, we've got 9 minutes left on FanDuel. I'm typing up a quick update here. Get your questions in, everybody, because otherwise it's going to be a long, awkward, painful 9 minutes. Also, did you know now is literally the best time in the world to sign up for RotoGrinders Premium? You get so many sports happening right now if you sign up for Premium. We got baseball still going on. We got football starting. You can do single sport or you can do combo. Best deal in the industry. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're watching for free, know that we have content covered every sport all day long. It's all we do. So sign up for RotoGrinders Premium. Speaking of the YouTube, let's see if we got any questions here coming in. Oh, yeah. Darren says, FanDuel. Carty, you want Torres or Gallo?
Gallo's definitely the better play. He'll be chalkier, but he's definitely the better play.
All right. Also, you get $10 off your first month of RG Premium, which I didn't realize we were still doing that deal. It's an even better deal than I thought we were doing. Keith says, in a slate like this, Cheese, if you're 150 MME, what percentage of these just-in-case Texas stacks are you putting in your builds? That is an excellent question, Keith.
I'm putting in more than you think I would. I don't, it's over there for me to actually look and tell you how many I have. It's different on FanDuel. I don't have as many because we have the extra game. On DraftKings, I probably have like 10%, which is kind of a lot of the worst team. But I mean, it's a 3-game slate. It just doesn't take much for, the weird Tigers the weird Rangers. But FanDuel, it's less than that because we have the Yankees and the Orioles.
All right. So let's see. Brian says, what are your thoughts on scooping up and starting Hinkie tonight in DC against the G-Men in a 2 QB league? Carty, you're kind of a season-long
football crunch time.
Do
this.
That's what the people came here for. Would you scoop up Hinkie even though he's garbage against the G-Men because they're kind of garbage too, but their defense is like.
Yeah, let me look real quick. I mean, in a 2 QB league, like it doesn't take a lot to make a guy viable, especially we're talking like a 12 or a 14 teamer. Let me see just how bad he projects. No, he's probably right on that threshold of viability. So if that's your best option, you can do that.
Okay, great. Carty, did you know how many brains octopus have?
I don't know. Several?
It's more.
Would you like to take an educated guess at how many brains?
It's about as many as I have Ranger stacks almost.
Like 8, I was gonna guess.
Oh, that 8 plus their main. They have a brain for each of their 8. They have 9. They have
9 brains. Wow.
Yeah, 9 brains and 3 hearts. Just
octopus is delicious. By the way,
when well prepared, it is really good. Agreed. Yahoo, head to head, Harper or Stanton?
Stanton.
Brian says, thanks, fellas. Love the show. You're welcome, Brian. We're happy to help, man. TJ says, since I like the video and I am a loyal sub, can you guys read my article I just wrote after lock? I've been a sports writer before, but just wrote my first article in the comics industry. I need the clicks. Hell yes, TJ.
The comics industry. Yeah.
TJ, send it to me. I will read it. Yes. I'm in on that, bud. Okay, some more questions coming in. DK Cash from NBA Live. 3v3. Cheese, I'm giving this to you.
Okay.
Schwindel, Gregorius Harper, or Brad Miller, Correa Tucker?
It's a very close one. I would lean towards the Harper side.
All right. Joe Wheeler says, Joey Gallo or Nelly Cruz in a FanDuel single entry?
It's going to depend on the rest of your lineup. Gallo's the better player. Gallo will be chalkier. So, do with that what you will.
Brian C says PPR for Antonio Gibson tonight, over under 15.5 points against the G-Men. Carty, what say your mega powered projection system?
It's called the BLITZ.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got him close to 20. So
I go over.
Yeah, over.
It sounds like an over to me as well. Keith,
yeah, the thing with Gibson was he got a lot of the passing work last week, and McKissick's like snaps and everything just kind of fell. So this is what people kind of wanted out of Gibson, and it looks like we might get it.
Are we playing Saquon in DFS, or is everyone fading him? And so we should, because he already didn't get all the carries and he was ineffective because their offensive line sucks, but he catches the ball, but he's on short rest. What are we doing with Saquon?
I mean, I'm looking at the ownership. He doesn't project low owned. He projects as the second highest running back, as one of the higher. I don't know. I mean, I never have been a big fan. He projects as like the 6th highest owned guy on the slate. So if that's the case, then he's an easy fade for me.
Cheese.
I don't really know enough about football to say. I just know that, like, I've seen one too many times. I've been sitting there watching the Browns at Buffalo Wild Wings, and over here on the right's this little screen with his team in blue, and I just see this guy go 90 yards, and it's always him.
It is.
And I feel like he can be hurt and only get 40% of the snaps, and he's probably going to do one of those.
Yeah. He's so good if he can just be healthy and get one block. Just, dear God, give the man one block.
Like, it seems like I don't really care if he gets 20 carries or 10.
Right. Okay. That's true. He can break it
in a 1 game slate.
Yeah.
It's all because it's a 1 game slate.
quick question here. Peter Poker, DK tournament, best low dollar upside play and best pitchers to use in a tournament. So DK tournament, Cheese, your best low dollar upside play.
It depends what low dollar is. Like we mentioned, like Brad Miller and some of the Cubs. If you want really low dollar, Rivas for the Cubs. I think that's the game I'm going for power, that Cubs Phillies game.
Okay.
We didn't mention him, but Manny Margot is a really good play. He'll also be a popular one, but he's 3,100.
Okay, great.
And as far as pitchers for a tourney, there's not enough pitchers to worry about being different in a tournament. I would just play Garcia and Ends and worry about being a little different with your bats.
Okay. TJ says, what are your thoughts on Kyle Rudolph in Showdown as a low-owned salary saver? Kyle, you're stealing my play. Wait, it wasn't Kyle. Who was it that said that? Was it TJ that said it? TJ, you're stealing my play. That's my favorite play of the day. Here's the move. Are you guys ready for this? I'm going to captain Daniel Jones, but I'm not going to pair him with anybody on the Giants except for Kyle Rudolph, because Daniel Jones spreads the ball out. He's fairly ineffective, and he gets it done with his legs, and he could score 2 rushing touchdowns.
That's genius. It's genius.
It works. It works.
It doesn't work. It's genius. Let's be honest.
It's genius. I absolutely think that is the likely outcome. He's getting 2 rushing touchdowns, and then he's going to throw 1 to Kyle Rudolph, and I'm going to take down the Millie. Let's see if there's any more questions here. Hey, fellas, besides the 5 p.m. MLB game, what is your best team stack? Cheese.
The chalk that I would say is the best is the Rays. The non-chalk for me is the Cubs.
I'm thinking maybe he meant game stack. I don't know, but I thought he was.
There's no such thing, so team stack it is.
All right. That's fair. Were there any questions I missed? Oh yeah, there was one. Carty, if you're building lineups from the combine while harvesting your corn, would you stop and use lineup HQ, or would you hand build? Personal preference. There's no right answer here. Which would you do?
You have to use lineup HQ.
It's dangerous to hand build on the combine.
It's dangerous to use your hands at all. They can get chucked. Whatever happens there in the combine. Guess what? We hit lock, guys. We did it. That was great. Let's talk about the slate here real quick and discuss DK and if there's any differences. Is there we don't have to go position by position again. Geez, what's changed?
I mean, the massive difference is just as simple as the Yankees aren't on it. So guys like Harper and Alvarez and Cruz become the chalk instead of the kind of secondary chalk. So basically where we had Yankees chalk, now Rays and Astros can be real popular, and you're not getting so sneaky with the Phillies because that's kind of where everything gets shifted to. So for me, I still like some Cubs to be a little different, and this is where I think it's even a little more likely that you're going to end up with something like the Tigers, the weird Tigers. That's where I'll throw in a couple of Rangers stacks. You really can play anyway because there are no aces. There's no must avoid kind of pitcher, but Rays, Astros, chalk, Phillies, third and early chalk.
Okay. Carty nodding in agreement. Anything different there? Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, you literally can play all of them. If Phillies are going to be third behind Rays and Houston, they might be my favorite, but I also like the weird Cubs, Tigers, even Rangers stuff.
Okay. By the way, tonight at 7:30 Eastern, we've got the NFL pre-lock show with Blender and STL Cards, which is just, I feel like it's going to be a wonderful personality mix between Blender and Cards. That should be just absolute gold. So tune in on that. And they're going into kickoff as well. So I don't know if they're doing some live betting into kickoff or what, but go ahead, check out that show as well. They're not doing that. Just up to kickoff. So everything that I said about through kickoff, that's a lie.
You don't know.
That's not happening.
What channel is Thursday Night Football on this year? Does anyone know? Everyone has a different kind of TV these days. I don't even know what kind of TV I have. I wonder if I can even watch it.
Oh, for sure. Here, if you look on the ESPN app, which I am about to do, it will tell you NFL Network.
Yeah, I have no idea if I have that. We switch TVs so much, and like I have like 49 streaming services, and I can almost never watch whatever show I want to watch. Life has gotten so hard with
it's
TV.
Very complicated, and
like every show is on its own network now.
Yes, and every time someone's like, "Oh, have you seen this show? It's great," and I was like, "Oh no, I'll have to watch that." And they're like, "Yeah, it's on Hulu or it's on some Apple TV."
It's on Schmickzaddle.
I don't have that. I don't. Damn it. Yeah, it's getting frustrating. I have significant FOMO on these shows. I'm missing great shows because I don't have 19 different streaming services.
Yeah. And I legitimately, I don't know if I have NFL Network. I hope that I do. I probably do.
Yeah. I pay all the money for like the big TV program combo. I don't even watch TV, but the 1 or 2 times that I want to watch my damn sports, if I don't have it, it just enrages me. So I make sure that I have, the NFL and the NHL and all that. So you probably do.
I probably do.
You probably do. Yeah, you probably have. All right, let's see if there's any questions. If not, we're going to get out of here. And Brian says, "Hey, we have some other questions coming in here. Hang on." Peter Porker says, "Which Cubs do you like? Is it more of a 1-5 or is it a wraparound 9-1-2-3-4?"
Like just in general and specifically with the Cubs, like the less popular a team is, the less you have to worry about being sneaky with it. I like 1 through 6. I know you can't play all 6. To me, Hap and Wisdom are the 2 guys I want the most. And then sort of Contreras as well, because he's a catcher. And then I would take what you need positionally after that.
Okay. Wonderful question from Italian Mamba. He says, "Gentlemen, on DK in MME, what is a reasonable amount of batters against pitchers to allow? Is 3 too many? Parentheses, obviously, besides for Garcia."
I mean, on a normal slate, it's 0. Do you think it's not 0 on this slate, Cheese?
I do. When it gets down to 3 games, I think you should have it at least set at 1. Like if you're just running the lineup builder. And I think there are times on a slate like this where we have a bunch of sort of opener-ish situations. I think even 2 is okay. 3 is pushing it. But definitely like 1 against on a small slate, I think is totally fine. And in certain situations, I'm okay with 2. But no, I don't think I would do 3.
I don't understand this question or this joke, but Brian says, "This goes for anyone. If you find yourself lost in a haunted house and you lack any rum and coke, do you call the local EMT for support? Thanks." Yeah.
Carty, do you have a projection? This is where we need projections because I'm not sure.
Carty, do you drink a rum and coke?
I drink rum without the Coke.
I drink Coke without the rum. So
well, there you go.
We'll
I
split
drink
it up.
the rum and coke. So there you have it. Look, we got a new question in. Oh my God, it's sports related. NBA Live says, "DK Cash, Bregman Cruz or Diaz Harper?"
Probably Diaz Harper for me.
Okay. All right. With that, we've got all the questions, guys. I think it's time to get out of here. I think we can get ready to enjoy a little football and a little baseball.
We just got at some point, sorry, while this was going on, a Rangers lineup. There's no Adolis Garcia. I like the Rangers less.
Okay. I believe he's the Cuban Missile. Is he not?
There you go.
Yeah, Cuban Missile. All right. For Carty, for Cheese, and of course for Devin working hard behind the scenes. Everybody over there on the YouTube watching this for free, like, subscribe, and sign up. You get $10 off your first month. You can get combo or single sport. We do a bajillion shows with a bajillion different hosts. If you hate one of us, that's okay. We're always rotating in and out. And honestly, I think we're all pretty awesome. We appreciate you. We love it. And we will catch you tomorrow. You have been crunched.